BiggerPockets, it is your lucky day. We don't have one strategy, but two strategies in this house hacking tour we are doing today. The first one is the room by room rental strategy. The second is long-term Section 8. Two strategies many investors are scared of. Our investor doubled down. Let's go check it out. So your first pro tip of the day is make sure you're connected with your local investing community and agents and lenders who know house hacking where you live. For example, we helped Jeff buy this a number of years ago. But you know what? There are 6 houses in this community, all with this similar amazing layout. And last year we helped another client buy another house hack. How do we know about this? Because we're in this every single day. So make sure you're plugged into experts in your local market. All right, well, I'm supposed to be meeting Jeff here. Might be a problem with my watch, but I don't think so. So while waiting on Jeff is the man when it comes to talking about these two rental strategies. Jeff no longer lives here, but this is actually his 3rd house hack, and now he has 7 properties in his house hack stack. And the great thing about Jeff is he has a full-time W-2 9-to-5 job, but he's been methodical in the way he's house hacked every year to reach his financial freedom goals. This property got about 50% closer towards his FIRE number. So this is about a 3,000 square foot home. It's a split level, 4 bedrooms up top with 2 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom downstairs. So it's a great layout, and eventually we'll get to walk it when Jeff gets here. Jeff! Jeff!
I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
Good to see you, man.
Great seeing you.
All right.
Happy to be here.
Dude, it is hot out here.
Yes.
I'm excited to see you. Let's get inside and talk some shop.
Let's go.
Jeff, the first thing I noticed, what the heck is this thing on here?
It is a smart lock or key code lock. Everyone loses their keys. No one carries keys anymore except the janitors.
Yep.
So pro tip number 1, have a key code lock for the front door. And also,
I'm seeing some things over here too.
Yeah, so the same exact thing, key code locks for all the bedrooms, because again, you want to have security for the tenants, but assuming they lose their keys, you want to have the ability to change it up or let them in if they ever lose it.
I love your artwork too.
Yeah, I designed that myself.
Jeff, pro tip number 2, what is it?
Okay, so you can see this absolutely amazing couch here, right?
Yes,
it looks
great.
immaculate. So I call it uncomfortably awesome.
Uncomfortably awesome, that's
Yes.
the pro tip.
Yeah, so you want to furnish your common areas to look fantastic in pictures, that shows really well. And then when you actually try to use it or sit on it, it's super uncomfortable where you only last a few seconds. Like, okay, I gotta get out of the spot. So you don't have the wear and tear on your furniture and your common areas, basically.
I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's get out of this.
Okay.
So we sat down and go over one pro tip, but first, Jeff, pro tip from me to you, man. Measure twice before you buy stools for the countertop, my man.
It's not designed for tall people or short people.
All for looks, right?
Yeah, it's for looks.
What was the phrase?
Uncomfortably awesome.
Okay, there we go. It works. All right, Jeff, for our real pro tip, you're a fan of short leases room by room. Why?
Pretty simple. Rent by room, you're dealing with multiple strangers living together. You don't know how they're going to mesh. Some people are cleaner, some people are dirtier, some people park 3 cars, and you don't know all the stuff in the front end because everyone passes your background credit and income check. So basically the 2 to 4 month lease, when you sign that, you eliminate that big concern of everyone needs a year lease or longer. You pretty much find the right balance of who fits in well personalities. And then the ones that do, you renew them for a year. The ones that don't, you just find a replacement. And then until you find that right fit, start with a short lease.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Jeff, you brought me in the kitchen for a reason. What's the pro tip in here?
Okay, so you probably noticed there's a abundance of cabinets here.
Yes.
So key tip here to remember for rent by room is sharing the common pots and pans and plates and silverware. So by doing that, this is all communal for everybody. It's all the glasses, plates, and then all the pots and pans. So each person knows like it's shared. Along those lines, people have their own stuff, and we assign cabinets like right behind you. This cabinet right here is for one person, and obviously they have a lot of spices.
So I'm sure you got some system for the fridge too, right, Jeff?
Yeah, so basically the same story as the cabinets. You assign communal shelf right here for everyone to use. And then each room gets their own shelf space for the freezer and the fridge. So there's no confusion. And to make sure when people move in, move out, we know exactly what to throw out if there's anything left behind.
And how'd you learn about doing this pro tip?
With the hard way. So our previous house hack number 2, we had people live there for years and years and years, never threw out anything. And multiple roommates, 10 roommates prior, they just kept everything in the freezer and fridge and never said anything. So it was just packed of stuff and it was all rotting, and it was a lesson learned, but that's where it came up with this rule.
But that's how you do it.
Yep.
You do it, you learn, and you execute.
Yep. I picked that one out, Becca. I picked this thing out. Yeah, that's all me.
Jeff, I'm a fan of the right height chairs and tables. Good job.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Flip a coin, right? All right, so your next pro tip goes against my programming as a little kid. I've been told, stranger danger, stranger danger. But you have a different sentiment for getting roommates.
Absolutely. So that does not apply for rent by room. Strangers will make you rich. Friends will not.
Okay.
Very straight tip.
Why is that?
Well, because think about when you've personally lived with your friends and how you thought like, oh, this person's nice, seems like a good fit, I want to live with them. And then you find out what they're really like, destroys your friendships. You're more biased towards your friends than a stranger. So from a professional landlord point of view, you want to maintain that unbiased opinion of your tenant and not ever feel like they're going to come to you if they lose their job, say, hey, can I pay half rent this month because I'm struggling? You won't feel that because you're not friends with that person.
Yeah, and that's a great tip. And overall, like that's something people have to keep in mind, whether they're house hacking and buying rentals. You are running a business, not helping out your friends, not doing charity, but running a business. And that's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So a lot of investors, a lot of house hackers say, wow, room by room, way too much work. But let's talk some numbers. Jeff, what does room number 4 rent for?
$850 per month.
$850. So that is for one bedroom.
Yep.
And now, Jeff, if you were in this long-term to one family, what would a 4-bedroom, 2-bath place rent for?
In Denver Metro, 4-bed, 2-bath, in this part of town is about $2,000 a month.
Okay, so about $2,000, we're at $850, plus what's this?
This is the master, $850 as well.
All right, so $1,700 a month right there total. We got 2 more over here.
Yep.
Rooms 2 and 3. What about those guys?
$650, $750.
All right, I can't do math in my head. What is that?
$3,200.
$3,200.
Yes.
So a little bit more work, but $3,200 in gross rents versus $2,000 long-term rents. That's over $1,000 difference in cash flow. Jeff, $1 million question. Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Hell yeah.
All right. Jeff, what's going on here? I see stairs, I see a door with no doorknob.
Yep, so basically it is dead bolted shut because we want to maintain full privacy and comfort for the tenants downstairs and the rent by room tenants upstairs.
So this is just a good workout path for people?
Yeah, if they want to do some stairs, yeah.
All right, Jeff, I know single family homes are not designed to have a bunch of people living here.
Right.
So why are we talking about parking in the parking lot here?
Well, with rent by room, you got to assume every single person that lives here has their own vehicle. So you want as much parking as possible so you're not bothering any neighbors, and to make sure they feel safe and secure with their car as well. So as you can see right here in this whole place, easily fit 4 cars just on this side. And that doesn't count all the side street parking right there too.
Well, plus we have your beautiful garage. Wait a second, that's not a garage, what is this?
The prior owner converted it to a 20 by 20 giant bedroom, and it's absolutely massive. Great natural light, super hot in the summertime, but we got a window unit for that problem.
But that is room number 4 in the property, which is an extra $850, which is way more than you get for a parking space.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's go check out the other unit.
Okay.
Let's talk about getting guaranteed rent. Now, guaranteed rent is not a term you normally hear when it comes to rental properties or house hacking, but we're sitting outside the lower unit of your property here, and you're getting guaranteed rent through a program through the federal government. What is it?
Yeah, Section 8 is a government program that covers the rent for low and fixed income individuals and families.
Yeah, so it's an amazing program. The government helps a lot of people with their housing costs, and they want private landlords to go out there and provide safe, secure housing. Now, some observations I've had from being a realtor investor for a lot of years now is I find actually a lot of times house hackers are the best landlords I've seen out there. Why? Because they live in the property and they have a lot of pride in ownership. Typically, house hackers, have extra time. They're working on the properties, self-managing, and they put out an amazing product. Now, if I go walk 10 house hacking properties and 10 rental properties, most of the time the house hacking properties are better rental products than the investor properties. And I think house hackers are amazing landlords. That's a huge benefit to renters all around the country.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk some numbers here for this lower unit. So up top, Jeff, you have 4 rooms, a total of $3,200 a month in rent, which is already amazing rent. Now we got this 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, long-term rental. What does this pull in?
$1,941 per month.
$1,941?
Yeah.
All right, what's $1,941 plus $3,200?
$5,141.
$5,141. So over $5,000 a month in rent. Now, a really important thing to keep in mind here is that Jeff's goal is to cash flow his house hacks. Now, Denver is not the most expensive market, nor is it the cheapest market. It is hard to find cash flow properties. But here's an important tip that distinguishes Jeff between many other house hackers and investors. He has the mindset to ask, how do I find properties that cash flow that work for me and this marketplace? And this example of a home bringing $5,000 a month of rent is the perfect example. So pay attention to Jeff's mindset because that is a big difference in success. All right, so let's check out Jeff's portfolio. This is a snapshot of his global portfolio of all his rental properties that he's gotten through house hacking. First off, Jeff is a millionaire through house hacking. Awesome job, Jeff. He has close to $5 million in real estate and over $1 million in equity. Now remember, he bought a lot of these properties down for 3 to 7%, anywhere from like $20 to $40, $20 to $50,000 all in. And now he's over $1 million in equity through debt paydown, market appreciation, and value add. That is a 7-figure equity amount. Now, the number a lot of people really care about is cash flow. Now, cash flow is vital to allow someone to obviously pay for their investment properties and eventually leave their job. Jeff's cash flow is just under 6 figures. That's over $90,000 a year. Now, this is through 6 house hacks in the last 5 years. Stop and think about that for a second. That is life-changing. And that's not just cash flow. Oh, great, I got $5,000 a month. I can go quit my job. He's got cash flow. He can start quitting his job and transitioning out, but he's also got assets. He's got millions of dollars in real estate assets. That is long-term wealth building. Now, let's break this down because this is very impressive. Overall, he has a gross monthly rent of about $37,000 a month across the 7 properties. $37,000. Let that number sink in for a second. Jeff has built a portfolio of assets that generate $37,000 a month in rent. That is a lot of revenue. Now, of course, expenses come out of that. He underwrites about $13,000 a month in operating expenses. That's all the expense of operating the property, except for debt service. That's maintenance, taxes, insurance. Now, Jeff self-manages some of his property and also has a property manager for some other properties. So that's about $13,000. And next comes out the loan payments. He's about $17,000 a month in loan payments. And this leaves him about $7,500 a month in cash flow after all the expenses are paid. Now think about that. Is $7,500 a month life-changing? Yeah, for most people it is. Now I could spend hours talking about Jeff's portfolio because I call his like the ultimate house hack stack. He's aggressively patient. He wants to go out there and set the record for the number of house hacks the guy does. He is very, very aggressive. Realize that you do not need to be like that. It all comes down to goals and what your strategy is. That is Jeff's strategy, and that aligns with his goals and interests, and his portfolio shows that. So if you want to see some more behind the scenes content of Jeff's property and his other house hacks, make sure you come and check out my YouTube channel. We've done a bunch of deep dives in his properties for a lot more details. So before we wrap up this video, I have to make sure I give a shout out and a big thank you to Suleika. This is Jeff's wife and also been his partner in house hacking. She wasn't able to join us for this video, but she is a behind the scenes partner and person that helps Jeff to reach his success. A lot of great house hackers have great partnerships. I wanted to highlight Suleika and thank her. By the way, Suleika, thank you for making sure the house hack today was nice and clean. We know that was you. So we did a deep dive into Jeff's property and his house hacking stack. Now, his strategy and his property and his aggressive, patient mindset may not be the right fit for you, and that's all right. The whole point of this video and the upcoming walkthroughs of the series we have is to give you different ideas on different strategies, different properties, and different house hackers in different phases of their life. So make sure you watch those videos and get the right tips for your situation. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave in the comments what you think about Jeff's house hack. Also, make sure you reach out to me on social. My links are below. I'm very active on there. I would love to connect with you. So come join us for the next House Hackers property tour.
Jeff, turn on Netflix. I don't have a remote or TV or Netflix.
Wait, what?
Yes, that's another side note. Rent by room, you want to make it uncomfortably awesome, and that includes absolutely no TV in the common areas. Yeah, they can look outside at the neighbor. It's totally fine.